Mary right here listening on XM Satellite Radio. Mary, how are you?
I'm fine.
What's going on?
Well, my question for you is, how do you repair a marriage after there's been infidelity and the other spouse has quit going to counseling and will not go back again? It's been about a year ago that I found this out.
What did you require of him when you found out he had been unfaithful to you?
I required him to go to counseling with me.
Okay, and that's it?
I didn't know what else. I was such a mess.
Yeah,
at the time.
okay. Well, I can understand that. And so now he doesn't want to go to counseling, and what does he say about it? What does he tell you about not going to counseling and you guys being at such different places in the marriage?
Well, he said that he didn't like what he heard at counseling.
Uh-huh. I bet not.
I finally was able to open up to him and tell him that, he said, well, if our marriage is in that bad, we've been married 30 years, and if it's in that bad a shape, something would have happened all 30 years. And I said, it's in that bad a shape.
He has no remorse over his affair?
Yes, he does, and he dropped the affair.
Did you find out, or did he confess to you?
No, I found out.
How did you find out?
Telephone records.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Besides the affair, how's the marriage been?
After the affair?
No, like in the 30 years?
Yeah,
just what?
over the whole course.
Over the whole course.
The whole 30 years, it's always been, he's been the dominating part of the marriage, and I'm usually the one that's shy and kind and stays back.
Okay, so you sort of let him define the marriage and roll the marriage, and you sort of were the nice guy, and...
Yes.
Okay.
And he's, this is the second time this has happened.
My goodness. You know what my thought was that there's a lot of hope in the fact that he's sorry, and he's talking to you about this counseling that failed, and he's still in the... Sorry?
He's not talking about it anymore. We have never communicated well. And as soon as I said that I hadn't been happy for 30 years, everything shut off, and now on his, just deal with it.
Well, but think about it this way. You guys have trained him to do that.
I know I have.
Good news is what he wants, and you're kind of compliant, and so when you start giving bad news and being honest and those sorts of things, he doesn't have the skills to take that. So let's say that's the situation. I would say let's move right now from the individual counseling to marital counseling. And here's why I say that. Sounds to me like he needs to go in little bites about the way his marriage really is. And he can't take the whole reality of how bad it's been and how disconnected you felt. And I think he might just shut down again. But with a really good marital counselor, a guy like that who's sort of controlling, you give them little pieces at a time of what do you want, well, what do you want, and over a transition with lots of grace, they begin to basically hear the reality. You really can't hear lots of truth if you've never heard it unless there's lots of grace around it in bite sizes. And then you're there monitoring that process, and we've seen really good things happen.
What was he like at his best when you guys dated and first got married?
Oh, he was fun-loving, and, he was great to be around. I mean, everybody knows who he is.
Do you miss that in him?
Oh, no, he's still that way. He's just not that way with me.
So you miss that with him?
Yes, and I miss being able to tell him stuff. I mean, he doesn't ask me, like, if I go somewhere or gone for a weekend, I come home, he never asks me about it.
Total disconnection.
It's total
Mary, has he told you, have you ever asked him what he thinks is the reason why you two are so disconnected?
Well, he says it's because I am not affectionate. But there's been so much pain.
Oh, okay.
Mary, can we be friends here, and do I have permission to speak freely?
Yes.
You have a 30-year bad marriage that has 2 affairs under its belt.
Yeah.
All right? If you have a really serious infection, you don't go ask the doctor, give me some decent supplements. You say, I need the strongest medicine because we're way beyond supplements. Stop trying to figure what can I say and what can he say. You have a really endangered marriage, and you need a professional. And so what we're saying is This isn't about what is the right thing to say, what he needs and what you need. You guys can't even talk to each other for 3 decades.
Exactly.
Just say, I really love you, miss you, know that we don't understand each other, we're
Right.
both hurt, we need a professional because the ship is going down, and stop trying to do it yourselves.
Well, I would love to get him to go, but he just refuses.
And if you said, I'll go with you, I want to change too, he would
That's
say,
the problem. He thinks it's all me.
my point exactly.
Okay.
My point exactly.
Then use that,
Then
Mary.
use that.
Use that to your advantage. Say,
I want to take the beam out of my eye.
right. Say, I really want to understand because I know I contributed to the problems in our marriage. And
Yes.
one of the things that I am so sorry for is trying to just kind of tell you what you wanted to hear and not always telling you the truth.
Spend every bit of energy you can on getting him in that marital room with you. That's your project now.
See, this is what the New Life Weekend is for.
I know.
If you could just say to him,
Well, and
let's get there.
I would even say, you want me to be more affectionate? You know, my ability to trust you and to trust you with my body is directly related to how willing you are to invest in our relationship.
Yeah.
Okay? So the way to the bedroom is through the counseling office.
Yep. So I just hold on. I want to tell you about how maybe the two of you could help him get there to that place where, sometimes you have to say, if you don't ever do anything else for me, would you do this one thing with me? And I'll be off your back. I'm not gonna gripe, complain, nag, or anything. Just do this one thing. I mean, sometimes you have to lay it out there and ask for, look, if we're gonna be separate, this thing is just gonna be a disaster, at least let's just say we did this one thing. And sometimes that bold move can really make all the difference in the world.